or something that looks like joy. I've been waiting.
Far over the misty mountains rise, leave us standing upon the height. What was before, we see once more. Is our kingdom a distant light? Fiery mountain beneath the moon, the words unspoken will be there soon. For home a song that echoes on, and all who find us will know the tune. Some folk we never forget.
I've been waiting a long time to hear from Frank, both this evening and in general. I'm proud very much of three things. I'm very proud this is happening at 30 Franks because I hold what we all hold here, which is this is the best bar in the fucking galaxy. Which means that for every person here, it's a cathedral. Think about that. Number two, I'm very proud that this book is back out. This book has been out of the spotlight for 10 years. This book is a necessary book because the one thing I realize about this book is that Frank, in his empathy and his generosity, built his stories out of our stories. And as Philadelphians, we are very lucky to have this book because we're in it specifically. Our stories are in it specifically. And I don't know of any other art or poetry that I can read at that level of specificity, and that is a beautiful thing that we have that Frank gave us, Philadelphians. So it says in the book, this book is your book also. I think this is what Frank means, and I am proud of that. Lastly, I'm proud of a third thing. A new book awaits us. So more Frank is coming this fall, and as long as Frank wants to write, I will publish Frank. Woohoo! Yeah!
I initially planned on reading strictly from the book, but then I realized that it's been 10 years since my face went on the mural outside.
Whoa! Nice.
But also,
That's a big deal. I want my face up.
with another notable Francis, which is the late Pope, who visited Philly in 2015. And I was poet laureate at the time, so I wrote a piece to mark the occasion, loosely using the framework of the prayer of St. Francis, that is St. Francis of Assisi, who is also on the mural. Nice. The Pope. And happens to also be the mutual patron saint of the Pope and myself. And that was before Sinead O'Connor came into my life, but that's another story. And I wrote this piece not as a dedication, but it was more of a wish list. And I have to say, patriarchal imperial hierarchies be damned, but that Argentine ex-bouncer pretty much checked most of the boxes on each of these stanzas. Up until the very end, when he was FaceTiming a church in Gaza every day for the last year and a half since the bombs started dropping, just to give a light to their darkness and make them feel seen. So this is what all the dark cannot extinguish. Make me a channel of peace, a throughway for the lost and old, the alone and refugee. Guide me as visitor across the desert, just to extend an embrace. Where there are slats in jail windows, whisper me through with a message. Apprentice me as a breaker, not a maker of chains. Here, the sick, the dead, the strong, the alive are among us. Give me what it takes to dejewel, laying robes at the feet of power, to laugh and walk away. Allow me to be passage for the newest arrivers, eyes to see sisters, brothers in the row house, the convent, the tent. Grant me literacy to read this crate as fragile, understanding it's more than machine parts that move the brightly unsighted. Project me as more than a fictional image of love, as a sculptor of marble no longer inscribing for wars. Broaden this scope to recognize the many configurations of family. Spread me as seed in the midst of thorn and rock. Allow me sense to leave the dung of the devil as fertilizer for the most beatified blossoms among us. Make me a channel for living waters from LA to Sao Paulo, eroding doomed idols of greed. Give me the smarts to be an opener, not a closer of schools. Supply me with tools to make a Damascus road. Undeafen me to hear I can't breathe from Brooklyn to Bangladesh. Teach me to silver a mirror in which I could see the other as me. Sister, brother, animal, tree, may we be reunited as kindred. Where there is song, string me as instrument to accompany the hymn, the nasheed, the amida. Where there is disappearance, speak through me as witness. It can be dark, but please, one last prayer. Make me in the image of love. Your work is my work, is our work. Together I'm in.